just such an honour to have been involved with such events as these over the years. I must say that many have, and I claim no individual honour in it. So many really fine people have given their time and their talent in both writing and performing to honour on such days as this the events that took place before us. So, as I said earlier on, it may be the case that COVID had other ideas for me to offer you a ballad as a balladeer, but nonetheless I can offer you a few thoughts from songs that I think are worth the while. Not the least of these being said, one by Sir Walter Scott, who was himself a historian and who really penned these words, only 2 lines among so many, but I find them quite startlingly good within them. And that is, he said, breathes there the man with soul so dead, who never to himself has said, this is my own, my native land. Robert Burns and so many other people contributed their work to it. And I would at this point just like to offer you a snatch of a song which I think is worth the hearing. In fact, as things hit my throat the night before last, as they can, I just realised that because I'd had to call off so many events such as these in the past, I wouldn't dare face Gordon afterwards by saying, no, I wasn't fit to turn up for it. So however it might turn out of this rattled thrapple, I just hope that you might gain something from it to take away with you today and further your knowledge. They say that a hero has left us forever. The heart of the Wallace is beating no more, but his spirit lives on in the free-flowing river, and high in the sky where the wild eagles soar. The hero is gone, but our shackles are shed. No more to be serfs, but be free men instead. For Scotland he fought, and for Scotland he bled. So rejoice in the name of brave Wallace. Wallace the warrior, Wallace the brave. Never for him the cold, quiet grave. Though they maimed him and shamed, and he died like a slave, the word that he lived by was freedom. The dungeon may darken the eye of the dreamer. The chains that do bind can be heavy and cold, but his spirit ran free on the wings of the tether, as high on his wings the blood was sold. The hero is gone, but our shackles are shed. No more to be serfs, but be free men instead. For Scotland he died, yes, for Scotland he bled. So rejoice in the name and the memory of brave Wallace. A guy called Jim McLean was really quite productive in writing songs for occasions such as these. He was from Paisley, and I befriended him, and it was absolutely great. He introduced us to the name William Wallace largely because there was very little taught about the name or the person of William Wallace in Scottish schoolrooms. As a matter of fact, I can recall myself having grown up to believe there was a bloke called Wallace the Bruce somewhere in history. And that was it. Everything was about as vague as that. And then an Australian with an eye on a good story turned up with a movie about a hero. And since then, I've been pelted with songs about William Wallace. As a matter of fact, the tradition has it that he was from Elderslie in Renfrewshire. But then in Ayrshire, there's a place called Ellerslie, which sprung up with some claim to the birthplace of William Wallace. It's very odd that none of this really emerged or claims were made until the movie came out and the souvenirs were able to be sold. But then, as Scots, we really have always had an eye, at least for some business. Ye Jacobites by name, Give an ear, ye Jacobites by name. Give an ear, ye Jacobites by name. Your thoughts I will proclaim, your doctrines I mun blame. You shall hear, your doctrines I mun blame. You shall hear. What makes heroic strife? Famed afar, famed afar. What makes heroic strife? Famed afar. What makes the heroic strife? To whet the assassin's knife, or hunt up parents' life with bloody war, or hunt up parents' life with bloody war. Then leave your schemes alone in the state, then leave your schemes alone in the state. Then leave your schemes alone, adore the rising sun, and leave a man undone to his fate, and leave a man undone to his fate. Robert Burns wrote these words, and I want you to pay attention to the Jacobites by name. Somebody sent me recently a new song called I'm a 90-minute nationalist. And that was to kind of try and unpick the puzzle of how such a huge percentage of Scots seem to sing a song called O Flower of Scotland. But alas, history has shown that it's a lesser percentage of Scots that actually vote for it. And so, once again, it's here. Are you a Scotsman? Oh, and by the way, if any other nation is represented here today, then a double welcome. This is not really to commemorate Scottish dead. We have to remember also the dead all over the world who have died for freedom or a sense of it, have died for justice, even the ones that fell at Flodden, at Culloden, and at other places on the other side from us. Nonetheless, they were there. Were they there just because it was something to do, or did they believe in what they were fighting for? Nobody can answer that except the individual themselves. And so I'm just simply here to reiterate what's been said already and say I'm glad to be participating in events such as these. But don't get me wrong and don't think it's a boast, because there are people here who have become involved. You might think there's not much difference between participating and getting involved, but there is. And that was pointed out to me some while ago. And that was the story of a farmer who had decided that it was his birthday coming up, and somehow it was a significant birthday, and the word leaked out to the farm animals. And they all thought because the farmer had looked after them so well, then they should give him something special for his special birthday. And word leaked out once again that he had a special breakfast that he just loved. And so they formed a committee to see who was going to participate. Better still, who was going to be involved. And they formed a committee of a pig and a chicken and a cow. And after some debate, they discovered that, wait a minute, his favourite breakfast was milky porridge, eggs and bacon. And the pig said, hey, wait a minute, you two are participating. I'm the only one that's getting involved. So we have indeed to remember on occasions such as these, the great people aforementioned and yet to come that will dare to get involved and to struggle for freedom and for justice. Because without justice in it, freedom can take all manner of things in the minds of people. Anyway, we're glad to know what we are, what we believe, and where we stand in such matters. Thank you very much for the invite.